Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today on Sunday. I appreciate you guys. I know I'm earlier than normal, but I got some news that I wanted to share with you all since I am off on most Saturdays. I observe the Sabbath, but I am coming here to you today, right now, with some news about the suspect in the shooting death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, a friend of Vice President Vance, and also the President, Donald J. Trump. Okay, there is some news about this young man, all right? And it just goes along with the actual last question that Charlie Kirk was answering before his untimely death. Now, before we get into it, don't forget to smash the thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, select all notifications. I ask you to stick around to the end. It really helps me out. Now, let's go. All right, so Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, is the current suspect in the shooting death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. You guys, I've had a heck of a weekend. But before I tell you about my weekend, I mean, you got to stick around. I'm just like, Lord, have mercy, these people out here on the left and their delusions. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play you this clip from Fox News. Just go ahead and play. I don't want to let you guys wait any longer.
So Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, reportedly lived with a transgender partner in Utah, according to FBI officials.
And this is the same partner that reportedly came forward with messages from the suspect discussing the killing, including the rifle, engraved bullets, and a change of clothes.
Retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent James Gagliano joining us now. You know, we've had this conversation, my friend, about the nexus of information as we continue to unpack this investigation. If you wouldn't mind, is it relevant at all as a data point who this person, this shooter was involved with? Does that matter at all as we look at the investigation in terms of the community? Lawrence, and I think even Rachel mentioned earlier, Discord communities. How do you unpack that when people say, oh, it shouldn't matter?
Investigations are layered. And really, when you go to look at this now, we're seeing this new ideation, which is assassination culture.
Yeah.
What does that consist of?
Yeah.
Starts out with a grievance. These are all grievance collectors, whether it's a mass shooter, a terrorist, or a political assassin. You add into that an ideology. My ideology is superior to yours. You're an existential threat. You're going to stop the next election. You're against my family unit. And last, moral absolutism. You believe that you are superior, your thinking is superior, and I have the right to take your life because I disagree with you.
So in this country, we have a history, sadly, of political assassinations.
Right. Yep.
And, you know, let's take JFK, for example. People had a lot of ideas and theories about what would have what happened. And was that killer or shooter, you know, he was obviously a disturbed person, but who was actually behind animating and using that disturbed person to actually, you know, kill our president? So do we know anything about that? And do you feel like our government can be trusted to dig that deep?
We're certainly not immune to political violence. I mean, in our 250-year history, 4 sitting presidents have been assassinated. We're conditioned, sadly, Rachel, that that's normal. You know, whether it's Gabby Giffords or Justice Kavanaugh, we think that that's almost our norm. Charlie was an interlocutor. He was somebody that just went to college campuses and debated. Now, in looking at this assassin and what he did, it was just a cacophony of errors and how clumsy it was. He was successful in what he ultimately set out to do in his dastardly deed. He is essentially a murderous nihilist. But the FBI now is digging deeper. Was he inspired by somebody or something? And was he directed, or did anybody provide any material support? That's important.
That's what I want to know.
Can we stay right there? Because, and we got a statement from Discord, which is the chat feature, the gaming app that they were using. Now, they say that they've kicked them off the app, and the communications that took place were after the assassination. I'm not comfortable with just a company's answer. I want to see how forensic people do. Do you think there could have been planning on the app before? And if the people that he was communicating with knew about it or had conversation about it, will they be brought in?
That's the tough thing. I mean, we cherish our Fourth Amendment protections, you know, against illegal searches and seizures and all of our privacies that we appreciate as well. This is tough. Remember 2015 San Bernardino, and at the time FBI Director Comey trying to get into an Apple phone from the terrorists who were dead and was unsuccessful.
No.
We had to end up going to get some kid to break the code because Apple wasn't working with us at the time. Later, they changed their mind. Yeah, it's a tough thing. Again, people online say crazy things. It's separating that from the people that are going to act on it. And Lawrence, to your point, that's the tough part.
Well, I think this is going to be a challenge for the FBI. You know, MAGA and President Trump's people are in charge. And I think people are going to, you know, really look at this to see, do we have the FBI? Can we restore the trust that was lost?
Yeah.
So much of it lost during the last administration. So thank you so much for joining us. Great.
All right, so you guys, you know people, okay, on the left, they're going to want, they've been saying that it was a Republican voter. He was actually unaffiliated. He was registered as an unaffiliate. He had no ties to either political party. His family was Republican, MAGA down, okay? But reports have come forth, and again, I'm saying reports, I'm saying allegedly to everything in this video, that have said that he was a leftist. Okay, it has also come out that he was Antifa, part of that anti-fascist organization, and also there was anti-fascist sentiment on the shell casings. The shell casings literally had anti-fascist sentiment. Okay, Antifa is not MAGA. It is the exact opposite. Okay, he went to some Antifa little gathering at his college. I'm just saying allegedly on this. So many reports are coming out. But again, the question that was being asked of Charlie Kirk, okay, was talking about twins, and I say it that way on purpose, transgender shootings done by, trans people. Charlie Kirk responded, too many. People applauded. Then he said, how many mass shootings? And he said, with or without gang violence. And that is when the assassination happened. That is when it happened. So the fact that he was in the middle of answering that question, and that is when it happened. And people are so sick. People are really sick, y'all. I posted because I felt, okay, y'all know I go to a Messianic synagogue. My rabbi mentioned it in yesterday's worship service. At the beginning of the service, he talked about Charlie Kirk. He didn't really know him, but he talked about his wife, and he said good things about the wife and said that she is a lioness. Okay, he said good things about her. And, when I looked at her statements, her first public statements from Erica Kirk, it did something to me. It made me want to do something, not radical, just speak up. When I say do something, I only wanted to speak up and stand up for what I believe in. I want to be clear because I'm for law-abiding people. Okay, I obey the law, thank God. But I just posted on my Facebook, and I have been keeping this stuff to myself for the most part. When I posted, I put at the top, if you don't have anything good to say, don't comment below. I talked about the fact that Charlie Kirk was not a racist. He was not. He was for the right thing. He was for Bible, the Christianity, family, country. He was none of those racist things. He stood up for people and all of the things, right? The comments below started off great because they were from people that think like me, who I worship with. Then later the comments from people I went to school with, and they were derogatory towards him. And then it eventually one person got derogatory towards me, saying that, I should not be taking up for him and calling me a name. I'm just like, see, and I had to block that person. Let me tell you something about me. I'm okay with you disagreeing with me, but what you're not going to do is call me a name and be disrespectful. It is okay to disagree, but to be disrespectful, I will block. And I promise you, I slept good last night. I slept real good. Okay, because I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. You already know that. I'm not backing down. So I put people in their place. And I just let them know. And some people sent me like direct messages. I put in a link to a video that actually proves that Charlie Kirk was not racist. And they're getting that from the comments he made about Black female pilots, and taken out of context, it did make him seem, racist. I'm just going to be honest. But he was answering a question in regards, it was about United Airlines implementing DEI policies to go from less than 5% female pilots all the way up to 50%. See, people like to look at snippets and they don't look at the whole clip. A snippet in time. But if you look at Charlie Kirk's life in its totality, he is for everybody. He was for everybody. He led a Black Leadership Summit with MAGA Hulk. Some of you are familiar with MAGA Hulk. That man was not a racist. Charlie Kirk was not a racist. If anybody just wants to believe that, I don't have time to argue with you. You think the way you're going to think. And some people literally were celebrating that he was gone. One person said if he fell down the steps, he would laugh. Another person said, I just feel like, Charlie Kirk, I want a Charlie Kirk Halloween costume. I feel like it's Christmas. That is diabolical and demonic. And I called people evil who was celebrating. In my post that I told you about a moment ago, I said, if you're doing this, you're evil. I don't mince my words. And yes, I lost 100 followers. I had 3,900 followers. Now it's down to 3,800. That's fine. That's fine. If they, I don't even go on Facebook hardly for nothing anyway, to be honest with you. But I'm just keeping it 100. That man was not a racist. He was helping everybody. All these Black people out here, grieved Officer Tatum, friends with Candace Owens, all these people he helped, MAGA Hulk, the comedian Terrence K. Williams, Dr. Carol Swain spoke out well about him, and numerous thousands of other Black people. You think that man is racist? See, these people are on the left and they're delusional anyway. And this is a spiritual battle that we are dealing with. So the fact of the matter is, it looks like he had a transgender boyfriend who was in the process of transforming from male to female. That is what is allegedly out there in these reports. And I looked again, that FBI had actually confirmed it as well. So I want to show you all, and hey, everybody, I'm not really saying hey to everybody like I normally do. I got to get this information out, and I pray you give me some grace. And here is the clip right here on ABC News.
And anything new on the investigation? You say he admitted that, confessed?
No, not again. He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important. There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday. We can confirm that as well, and that he is cooperating with authorities as well.
And anything new on the investigation? You say he admitted that.
Okay, so the actual suspect, which is Tyler Robinson, and that was ABC News. It looks like the roommate, the supposed or alleged partner, is cooperating, but Tyler Robinson himself is not cooperating. But everybody around Tyler is cooperating. Okay, and it looks like from the FBI that this person that Tyler was living with is actually a partner in a romantic relationship, according to FBI reports that I have actually read. Okay, so this is just a lot of information is ongoing. This is an ongoing investigation. Tyler, he was active on Discord, which you heard Lawrence talk about on Fox. This was this chatting app of some sort. I'm not very familiar with it, but it is looking clear to me that this is the right person. What I'm not so certain about, and this is what the commentator on Fox mentioned, that lady, she said, who is behind him? Because we all know, even with JFK, she mentioned JFK, Lee Harvey Oswald was not a lone wolf. Anytime you have a lone wolf is not going to be taken out right after the assassination. Okay, look at what happened to Thomas Matthew Crooks, the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter that, nicked President Trump's, at that time, former President Trump's ear. That was not a lone wolf situation. They took him out immediately. They unalived Thomas Matthew Crooks. They unalived Lee Harvey Oswald. We don't know how much time this Tyler Robinson has. Okay, because it is the known thing in our nation's history. In our 250 years as a nation, we've had 4 presidents assassinated and other people. Now, Charlie Kirk, I call this a political assassination. Although Charlie Kirk was not a politician, but why do you think he was assassinated? It was because of his beliefs. But at the deeper root of it, at the deeper core of it, this is a message to people who think differently. Not only do they indoctrinate the children on these campuses and tell them things that are literally the opposite of truth, they are also telling them you must look at other people who think differently from you, especially if they are conservative, a Trump supporter, just Christian or whatever. You must look at them as if they are the enemy, as someone that needs to be taken out. And see, it's not just the indoctrination itself. That's part of it, but it is also how you have to see someone as someone who is a threat, an existential threat to this country. And I am doing my duty by doing what he did to Charlie Kirk. I'm going to say I believe that is how that young man thinks. Okay, these college campuses are literally indoctrination centers, in my opinion. Free speech here, okay? They're indoctrinating students. People are spending part of their retirement, saving, trying to get scholarships. And he was on a scholarship and he dropped out, according to a report that I read, that he had dropped out of college and supposedly living with this man who's trying to be a female. And it looks like he was part of that community, the alphabet community. I'm not demonizing, but the problem is you don't get to take the life of someone else because their opinion is different from yours. That is a coward. That is by definition a coward. And I'm sick and tired of these woke folks from all walks of life calling that man a racist. From one moment in time when he talked about United Airlines wanted to go on a DEI mission to hire at least 50% women as pilots. Let me tell y'all something. Not everything is racism or sexism. It's not. A lot of women don't even choose to try to become a pilot. Some do. But a lot of times women don't choose that career path. Doesn't mean it's because of racism. They choose to go a different way career-wise. So they're going to go and try and make that their focus instead of merit. Charlie Kirk said one time that he doesn't care if he wants merit. He wants excellence. And if that means you get all Black people, all Asian, all white, all Latino, as long as the bar is excellence, he doesn't care about what people look like. Does that sound like a racist? If the bar is excellence, he even brought up the NBA. The truth is the truth. And because he is white, how dare he make a disparaging remark about a person who happens to be Black? You can't even do that when you Black yourself. My husband posted a picture or a video, and they said that he was racist. Okay, so this is not okay to come at people because their opinions are different. Okay, I'm going to look at your comments, guys. Hey, SK Abstract Art, Dana Hodgen, hello. Yes, thank you so much. I didn't want to wait. Yes, she is incredibly strong. Yes, Drunken One, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian Benware. And you're talking about CBC News Canada has Barbara Perry, Liberal News, saying false statements. Well, we expect that from the Liberals. Mary Turney, I knew the second the trigger was pulled what the motive was. Just look at the question. And he's in a relationship, allegedly, with a trans person. Come on. One thing I have noticed, these Democrats always scream he or she is a racist when they can't win by facts and debate. I call that a foul. Can't reason with these nonsensical folks. Oh yes, honey, they in my DMs sending me stuff, and I sent stuff right back. I sent it right back. I'm standing 10 toes down. I'm not being quiet, and they can get mad if they want to. And I live in the town where I grew up, so I might see them at the Christmas party in December. They might give me ugly looks. So be it. So be it. This is a spiritual battle. This is not even personal. It feels personal, like they're attacking us, but it is about the God that we serve. None of the bullets fit Oswald's gun. Okay. I find it very hard to believe that this kid acted alone. Very much. I don't believe that he acted alone at all. Velma Hines, this is awful how they used Charlie as an scapegoat to try and spark a civil war. Stay safe and strong in Almighty God's love. And also Robert Williamson, go back and watch the videos. Look at the man who's standing beside the woman. They're both wearing white t-shirts. Mary Terry, amen. Keep up the good fight. I'm going to try to keep up the good fight, but I believe in telling the truth. And it just got me fired up when I heard Erica Kirk, his widow. And I'm going to share with you another piece of information. This is coming by way, and I'm just going to share this article with you guys, coming by way of WION. Was Tyler Robinson a gay, and was he dating a twins? Here's what FBI has revealed about Charlie Kirk's shooter. This was published today. After conservative activist Charlie Kirk's shocking assassination, new details have surfaced about the accused shooter, Tyler Robinson. FBI officials confirmed Robinson was in a romantic relationship with a transgender partner who is now cooperating with investigators. Okay? And it says FBI confirms Robinson's relationship. FBI officials told Fox News Digital that Tyler Robinson, 22, was in a romantic relationship with a male transitioning to female. The two lived together in St. George, Utah, just 4 hours from Utah Valley University, where Kirk was unalived. Okay? He was unalived. And that is just, y'all, what are we coming to as a nation? I'm sure people were thinking that in the 60s as well. I'm sure they were thinking that. They were thinking that, oh my goodness, these people are out of their minds. Okay? Because people were just being shot left and right in the 60s. Is that what we're coming to right now? We just had an assassination attempt, 2 actually assassination attempts that we know about on President Trump last year. These people are vicious. Okay, they are vicious. They are evil, satanic, demon-possessed people. We're not talking about people. These are dark principalities. Okay, these are dark people. And you guys, we got to realize who our true enemy is. Guys, I want to remind you to give me the thumbs up so that this video goes out farther into the YouTube algorithm. Please do that and comment on the video as well. Share it. I need you guys to share this because a lot of what Charlie said was uncomfortable to people who want to live in their delusional world. He had debates with people of all walks of life. In actuality, he wanted you to come up to the microphone if you disagreed with him, not if you agreed, but disagreed. There were trans people. There were Black people who felt like he was racist or did not agree with some things that he said. He wanted Black, see, a problem with, I'm just going to keep it 100. A lot of Black people in this country feel like we are victims. I don't personally. I'm just using that, generally speaking, because I'm Black, but I don't agree with that victim mentality. We want to be the most oppressed. What about this? What about that? They did this to us. We were the only ones slaves on American soil, so they should do this for us and they should do that for us. We didn't have this way of thinking. I hate to say it, until after MLK came along and turned us to government. We were turned to God prior to that. I know someone's not going to like this, but you got to do your research on MLK. And I'm going to do more research on MLK by way of his good friend, Ralph Abernathy. Okay, so I can get more knowledge and I can be able to stand 10 toes down on what I am saying. Because a lot of people did not even know who Charlie Kirk was until Wednesday after the assassination. They saw some clips, and probably they were looking at left-leaning media, which caused them to have a certain mindset because they had already heard the narrative. So they didn't look at the entire clip when he was talking about pilots. How are you going to go from about 4% female pilots all the way up to 50% in a short amount of time like that? Where your goal should just be merit, to get the best. And whoever falls in that category, whether they are female, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're Asian, it doesn't matter. Orientation doesn't matter. Just be able to fly the plane safely. I don't care. But we want to, this DEI thing, and this is what Charlie Kirk said, and I totally believe it. I believe it. That it was used as a way to divide us. It was used as a political tool to divide us, because if you don't want to go along with DEI, black people, liberal thinking black people, let me be clear, they're going to say things like, you're racist. It was just another tool to make it look like you're doing things for another group of people, the liberals, the racist liberals. Yes, the white racist liberals. So it looked like you're doing something for black people. And then, you know, the conservatives believe in merit. So then that gives you another reason, right, to say that they're racist, they're white supremacist. When all he was saying was, you should focus on excellence, not color. When you do that, you lower the bar. And every stat that he said he looked at, and I'm going to look at them, the bar was lowered. Do you want somebody doing surgery on you or flying your plane that you're on if the bar was lowered? No. I don't want a DEI hire for anything, because that is exactly what they do. They don't focus on the things they should be focusing on. This was used as a dividing tool. And yes, the Demon Rat Party came up with it. So you guys, I mean, look, let me just look at your comments. Queen Olive Ruthan, yes, I agree 100%. All the guy had to do was talk to Charlie. He would talk to everyone, anyone, and he did it respectfully. Drunken One, I've heard the bullet came off the top of his body armor. That's why the entry wound was so big. Okay. David Potter, they can't really throw the race card out there at me. I'm a Cherokee. Okay, SK Abstract Art, I think they've been evil for a while. They're just not hiding it anymore. These people are evil, y'all. And the comments I got on my post, I'm serious. This is an all-out battle between good and evil. This is an all-out battle. And it's spiritual. Try not to take it personal. These people don't know any better. They're filled with hate, some of them. And some of them are just ignorant. They're just ignorant. They don't know any better. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to push out some more videos, but I do want to show another video with Terrence K. Williams. I want you guys to stick around for a little bit longer. Terrence K. Williams, you know, cousin teas, pancakes and syrups and things like that. He wanted to shout out and give some, you know, comments about Charlie Kirk. And I believe, yes, he met Charlie Kirk.
And I want to give Charlie some credit here, okay? Back in 2019.
Now, this is before the assassination, okay? This is before.
And I want to give Charlie some credit here, okay? Back in 2019, Charlie Kirk helped a lot of young blacks get to the White House. He changed a lot of their lives. A lot of them never imagined going to the White House. And Charlie helped hundreds of young Black boys and girls go to the White House. Charlie, thank you for that.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, man.
So for people who want to call Charlie a racist, kiss my black ass. Excuse my language. Charlie Kirk is not a racist.
I love this guy. I'll tell you. And, you know, by the way, I have some New York Times reporters for you to talk to.
Yeah. I'll talk to them.
He said, if you think you can kiss my black, I call it A squared. That's my way of saying that word. Ooh, and SK Abstract Art. Linda, I'm with you. I've received some ugly stuff. Yes, I know. That was funny what Terrence K. Williams said now. He was joking, but he said, he was like, oh, no, I haven't seen that yet about the 1 minute of silence. That's Paula Santos. Thank you for telling me about that, Paula, about the EU Parliament did the 1 minute of silence. That's good. Queen Olive Ruthan, laugh out loud. I know that was funny. That's what I saw about a book coming out about the unaliving a day before. I could not find it when I looked for it. I couldn't find it. Jack Wiley, you black Sambos don't make no difference. Shut up. Charlie Kirk did like black people because he said every time he looked at us, he was wondering if the job was given to us. He got a lot of darn nerves. Okay. Hey, Jack Wiley, welcome to the Patriots. We love everybody. You can have a difference of opinion, but at the same time, did you look at the entire clip of that comment? Okay, so let's just be educated. And again, you must be a clefty lefty because you're calling people names. Can't seem to have civil discourse now, can you? Poor little tink tink. Brian Bidware, some people on YouTube say the shooter did not have a gun when fleeing. He certainly did. You can see him grab it off the roof and wrap it when he can. Okay. And watch Melanie King. Okay. Yes, I'll watch her. But there is so much that I'm going to be coming back with you guys on regarding this. But he had information on Discord. They're showing text messages. The live-in alleged partner is cooperating, and it was his dad who turned him in because he supposedly confessed to his dad. But now he is not. Tyler Robinson, according to reports, is not cooperating. Interesting. Not cooperating. I just can't even imagine why people would just get so upset at somebody for having a difference of opinion. Why can't we just not call each other names like this? Jack Wiley calling people Sambos and things like that. Let me tell you something. You the Sambo. You just go kick rocks barefoot. Go kick a pile of bricks up a hill in a mudslide. I don't care. Don't come on here acting crazy and calling names, because I will block you. Okay, I will block you and sleep good tonight. So go away. If you don't have anything nice to say, you can ask questions, you can disagree, but the name calling will not be tolerated. Okay, I am not the one. Do not play with me. Okay, so I am just happy to be here and just let you guys know what is really happening with the Tyler Robinson story. I looked up some other information. There's the Daily Mail. They say in the, I'm just going to go and show you this so you can have a look at it as well. I don't want to just tell you, I want to show you. I want to show you. All right, this is Daily Mail, and it goes on to say some of the same thing, like the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk lived with a transgender partner. It was claimed last night, and I told you the FBI confirmed it. The father of two, Kirk, 31, was gunned down on Wednesday as he was speaking about transgenderism and gun violence in front of a 3,000-strong crowd at Utah Valley State. And it says, living with a partner who was transitioning, and they shared a 3-bedroom, and he's fully cooperating. And it also says that the roommate is understood to have handed over text messages allegedly sent by Robinson after the assassination, apparently saying where to retrieve the rifle used in the assassination after it was left in a wooded area. A source told Fox News the shooter was living with a trans man who was changing from male to female. The status of their relationship, now they're saying the status is not known, but I've read confirmed from the FBI that it is. And also I want to show you a picture of this person. Let me get a picture of this person in front of you. And I've had it on my thumbnail. This is the person right here. That is the trans person, allegedly. Allegedly, this is the person right here, okay, who is living with Tyler Robinson, okay? And they supposedly are changing from male to female. And Charlie had his beliefs about this particular thing. Another thing I want to bring up about people who, now I don't know where this person is in their transition. I don't know if they've taken hormones or not. It's an ongoing investigation. Okay, but those hormones, from what I've been able to read online, can give people certain mental issues that they can act out violently. Okay. So that is a part of the problem as well with those. It can make them physically ill and mentally. So it is nothing to play with. All right. Let me see what your comments are. Brian Benware, Charlie wanted every American to have a nice life. That's why he cared. He wanted a loving country of happiness. Yes. Okay. Happy Mac. True. Velma Hines, pray for your enemies. Absolutely. Drunken one. That's just gross. I know. But the FBI said that it was confirmed. Okay. And you guys, let's be mindful of us having these conversations, because a lot of people, sometimes we think we know where people are mentally and spiritually. Sometimes we think we know and we don't know. Be very careful out here. Don't get caught up in a conversation with someone. Don't get caught up in these conversations. Okay? Because some people are really, really unhinged. They're unhinged. They're not wrapped tight upstairs. And then we want to, sometimes you can be telling the truth, but it's not the right time to tell that particular truth, depending on who you are in the company of. Sometimes it's just not the right time. You want to be, safe. And we got to have massive security. I'm talking about massive. No one should ever be doing any more outdoor events. No more outdoor events with these tall buildings around. They need to scope everything. They need to have somebody around these buildings and in these buildings scoping, and they stay there while the event, if it's outdoors, they need to stay there while that event is going on. Like, for example, if Officer Tatum wants to pick up, because Officer Tatum has done these kinds of, campus events as well. They should check security maximum. He should have his own bodyguards, which I'm sure Officer Tatum does. But if Brandon Tatum gets this, or y'all can send him this message, please, Officer Tatum, please don't do anything without bulletproof glass around you. Buildings must be secured, or don't do anything around buildings. Okay, no tall trees. And if you do something with tall buildings, make sure you have your security team scoping, like scraping inside and out on the top of the building before the event, and they stay there during the event. Okay, they should really scope everything out right before the event. The people should only be able to come in one or two different ways, and they got to be checked before they get in there. They got to go through like a metal detector, like at the airport. You just walk in, and then once that's done, they still got to scope the buildings, and then they stay at those buildings, standing around to make sure no one crawls up on the building, or they can themselves be on top of the building. I'm just thinking of ways that can make things better is all I'm trying to do here. We don't need any more of this. We don't need any more of this. All right. Y'all need to get it together, you klepty-lepties. All right. You're just not thinking clearly. You just get so upset. Why do you get mad? Why do you want to call people names? What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with you? You're crazy. All right, let me see. Kelly Fitzgerald. Cash Patel was friends with Charlie Kirk. He will go after everyone. Online gaming, friends, etc. Rumor is many knew before it happened. Utah has TP. SK Abstract, my brother, hello, big hugs. Carol, absolutely. Icy Kitty, great information. Fed Up Patriot. Back at you, my friend. David Potter, a drone with a camera only costs $100. All right, we got to have some security. And if you see something, and I don't know, sometimes things are meant to happen. Something good is going to come out of this. You mark my words. And a lot of these Turning Point USA chapters, I think there've been over 18,000 new chapters that have sprung up. Wow. See, this has only made the voice of Charlie Kirk louder. Just like in the Bible, when Jesus was, and I'm not comparing him to Jesus, okay? I'm not saying that before somebody gets all up in their feelings. They tried to silence the movement of Christianity by getting rid of Jesus, right? Even though Jesus laid down his life, no one took it from him. He laid it down. It only made the religion spread, okay, to more people. So that doesn't stop it. It helps it. And he thought that he didn't have to hear. He's got to hear more people that are going to sound just like Charlie Kirk. That's all it's going to do. And now you're going to be in prison, or they might give you the death penalty. So he just ruined his life. This Tyler Robinson, he hurt the life of Erica, their children, his parents, the in-laws, everybody who knew and loved him, other family members, friends. He did a lot of damage. So if that's what you want to be known for, Tyler Robinson, that's what you're known for, is taking out a good guy, doing the work of the enemy. So anyway, I'm going to post some other videos today. I'm going to read some more comments. Paula Santos, you're right. Officer Tatum should protect his life by not going out without protection. God protect him and his family. And to you too, Linda. Amen. Amen. Fed Patriot, all things work for good and to glorify your heavenly Father. SK Abstract Art. To Fed Patriot. Val and I went down to Turning Point yesterday and paid our respects. Talked to Brick Suit Guy for 20 minutes too. David, before this didn't happen, what happened to people? I don't know. Carl Dietrich, Will Beans, transgenders want to change their name. They are no longer the person they were when they were born here. So maybe they should be deported. I don't know. Amen, Linda. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I wanted to just give out this information. You may have seen it already on other platforms that don't work on Saturday, but I wanted you also to hear it from me. And I honestly think that this was also a sign to silence the rest of us, that we be silenced and that we don't speak out like Charlie did, that we be quiet, like a warning shot, like you be quiet. You stop talking that way. You stop talking that way. You know, this is a sign for the rest of you conservatives, but it's not going to work. Actually, it's going to make us be defiant against this evil. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I am going to post other videos today. Just watch out for them in the next couple of hours. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.